little spectrum and a little group, and we'd meet at a trailhead and go bombing down the trails, and we'd do lots of awesome things. And I started finding out that they didn't really care my history, they cared about what I was currently doing. So for the longest time, I didn't have to bring up the fact that I had this issue. So long story short, as I continued to progress athletically and some of the independent sports, never an organized sport, never made the basketball teams, never made anything like that. I was too short, too slow, or wasn't popular enough to make some of those teams. And so really growing up, you think, athletics isn't for me, but what you discover as an adult, we'll get into this in a minute, that play and sport actually has a really profound, I guess, effect on an adult, just as it would a child. And so, as I was dating my wife, her father-in-law said, "Blu, you ought to come and train and run the St. George Marathon with us." And of course, trying to impress the father-in-law, I said, yeah, sign me up. I had no idea what a marathon was. I found out real quick that I was in a little bit of trouble.
What's a marathon?
Yeah, what's a marathon anyway? And when I found out, I couldn't back down, and what I found was that it was an excellent way for me to get out and stress for the day and work on myself. Plus, it introduced me to a whole new world of issues like taping your nipples before you run so you don't shake, and the finer taste for Gatorade. It was really kind of some good stuff. I got a job at a treatment program shortly after I graduated with my bachelor's degree from UVU, and I was working with adolescents that were training in hiking and triathlon. The program was amazing. They helped the kids quite a bit. What I found was that they were just doing it for recreation. They didn't really put too much emphasis on how powerful these experiences are. So that got me into some triathlons and stuff, and that just kind of reinforced who I'd become and who I'd left behind. So Addict II Athlete was started kind of from there. But what I wanted to do is establish kind of a new pathway for recovery. Just a different one that had a little bit more action in it. The community meetings that we have, some of our clients attend, they're amazing. And I would never badmouth the 12-step program. I think they're amazing. And if you actually work the 12 steps the way they're designed, they're guaranteed to work for you. But there are some personal issues that I had with it. The first being that the affirmation, hello, I'm Blu, I'm an addict, to me that sends shivers down my spine. Because although it was me at one time, and it still is a piece of me, it is not who I am today. Nor is it the people that are in Addict II Athlete. They're not dumb enough to say that their addiction is completely gone. What they also realize is that they're more than that. They're fathers, mothers, sons, uncles, brothers, scholars, athletes, musicians, artists. There's so much more to these people than just it's an addict. And I get why they do it. But I also say, why focus on something like that? Because if that's what your mind's thinking about yourself, that's where you're going to gravitate towards. And it gives you an excuse to kind of blame your addiction for your shortcomings. The term powerless, I understand, we're powerless over our addictions and our lives to become unmanageable until you grab that doorknob to walk through the door to your first meeting. So that is a definition of powerful. And one thing I'm trying to coach these athletes into seeing is that by lacing up your shoes or showing up for a game, putting on the Addict II Athlete shirt and jersey, recognizing yourself as an addict, turning into an athlete, is that there's power in that. There's power in telling your story. I hope one day that the anonymous kind of starts to subside and people are able to explain and talk to people about who they are and what they're about, because it's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to really kind of grow power from. I've never met someone that I've worked with or even friends and family that struggle with addiction that talk highly of it. And really, they should, because it's a building block for something greater when you apply the correct principles. So what I decided to do is approach my supervisor to say, hey, I've got this really bizarre idea I want to try. And reluctantly, they kind of come together and said, well, Blu, there's a lot of liability here. They could get hit by a car if you take these guys out to go run with them. They could be struck by lightning. One might have a heart attack and die. You never know. And I said, well, let's just see what happens. Let's get some paperwork signed and say that we're not liable for them. And I know CPR, so they'll be okay. And they granted me the ability to do it. So, in April of last year, I got 5 athletes that I said, hey, I want to try something with you guys. I'm going to start this program. I'm going to call it Addict II Athlete. And what I want to do is train and compete in local races. And just so happened that my first week at the county, one of our original members, Tyson over here, he said, he gave his lesson once to the group on the benefits of exercise and recovery and depression and decreasing depression. And there I knew that I'd have someone in my corner to help solidify this. So they lined up in April and they chased that mayor down. They gave the mayor a 2-minute head start, and all but one athlete caught him. And as they passed the mayor there in Provo, he noticed their shirt, and it's got the walking billboard that you have a problem and you're turning it into something different. Tell me about your story. Tell me about what that means. And they had a little dialogue as they were running together for the few minutes as they were there, talking about who they are, where they come from, and a sense of empowerment kind of came from that. They were advocating for themselves through action. People were seeing them. People were cheering for them as they crossed that finish line, simply because they were out there doing something that the people standing on the sidelines weren't. And it was amazing. I had no idea the impact that would bring to these guys. And they were hungry for it. They were really hungry for it. And so we quickly got them into another race and another, up until where we are today. We do more than just running. We do basketball. We're going to be doing softball. We're going to be doing any kind of athletic sport that's going to bring some kind of interest to those who are participating. Does everyone remember that guy, Michael Jordan? Remember that guy? When I was little, that was me. And I thought for sure the moment I walked onto that high school basketball court, they would be like, "Blu, you don't even need to shoot, man. You're on the team." Mr. Michael Jordan pulling those crazy shots. That's the most amazing thing I ever saw as a kid. Here's this guy jumping from the foul line, dunking. To me, that guy was, a higher power. But what I discovered was that it was really what Bandura would talk about that self-efficacy. And that's kind of the philosophy of what Addict II Athlete stands by. When you get down to his theory, talking about, a person's belief in his or her own abilities and success, you get into recovery, and it looks challenging. You think, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. I can't do this. But once they see other people doing it in group, and they see people kind of emoting and talking, they mimic that. And that gives them the power to start talking and kind of, pushing some stuff in group. That's why group works so well. That's why when you have a real healthy, functional group, the therapist, the counselor, the group facilitator doesn't have to say a word because they're just vibing. What I noticed is that when we had a couple athletes that did really well, had this natural talent. We have one athlete that constantly wins these 5Ks and had no idea he could even do it until he got out there and did it. He'd won a few races and didn't even tell anybody because he was embarrassed. He was embarrassed that he won. He was embarrassed that he had these skills, and to me, that's horrible. I want him to promote that. That's something uniquely special to him. Because I certainly never won a marathon or 5K, 10K. I'm right there in the middle of the pack. To me, that was something amazing. And here he was hiding and suppressing that. And so one of his problems that he needed to master was being able to be proud of his successes. A deeper understanding and interest in what we're doing. There's a lot of our athletes that really aren't into running, but they sure do love basketball. Or they sure do love, the social part of it. They like the service behind it. So they'll be the ones that want to come out and support the basketball team that we have. They'll be the ones that will help, throw water cups at them as they're running by in their races. Bandura, we don't have enough time to even get into how thick Bandura's philosophy goes into Addict II Athlete, but I highly recommend, on your time to invest in it a little bit. So this is my beautiful daughter, Savannah, and this kid, she plays all the time. When she's working, she's playing. When she's doing school, she's playing. And this kid's got energy like I wouldn't believe. And I love this picture because it captures that innocence that children always do. That ability to play without any kind of hesitation or reservations on how they look or who they're associating with. And we always tell the recovery folks they got to dump their friends. Well, that's not very easy to do. We're asking a lot of them because where do you make new ones? Because at Savannah's age, you can roll over to the old sandbox, and if they're about the same height and they look about the same way, they're friends. And we don't do that. Imagine adults rolling up to a sandbox being like, "Hey, you want to play?" Our frontal lobes are developed, we're shy, we don't want to do that. So I love that children can play like this. It's a natural thing to them. It just comes naturally. And in some way, on this road of life, as adults, we forget that. We lose it. The development, it's a healthy development for kids. It's where it's them exploring their world. But the same thing holds true for adults. Those who don't take time to play in this industry, especially in the mental health field, you guys are destined for a blackout soon. Because how else are you decreasing your stress? What are you doing? What are you investing in yourself to kind of keep yourself fresh for the people that you serve? It spawns creativity, stress reduction. For me, that's what it is. And I feel bad sometimes because there'll be Saturday morning, I'll be gone half the morning because I'm out there biking, and you know, I'm looking back at 2 o'clock, and it's, you know, noon, and I'm, you know, down to knee high. I'm like, I'm not going to make it back. I might get in trouble. That's that addict part coming back in. You go a little bit further, go a little bit further, you know. So you got to have balance within it too. So the way people view addicts, it kills me. It definitely kills me. The victims of addiction, it's a sad thing, okay? Because addicts look at themselves as why do things keep happening to me? Why am I the one that had this? How come my brothers and sisters didn't have it? You know, how come I, you know, can't get this stuff right? They live in a world of scarcity. There's just not enough. There's not enough drug. There's not enough love. There's not enough time. There's not enough resource. There's just not enough. And they have a lack of something. You fill in the blank. Constantly living in fear. Am I going to have enough? Am I going to have someone to love me? Am I going to have, you know, money? Am I going to have a roof over my head? They're in a constant state of fear. Blaming. I mean, that's one of my favorite ones because it's everyone else's fault but theirs. And I call them consumers because they're like vacuums, and as much scarcity as they see, they're just vacuuming in all that stuff, the time, energy, love, resource, and money. And literally, they live in a world of captivity and death because they live by the philosophy of, I can't kick this, I can't do it. I see them a little bit different. When I see them, I see agents in recovery. The minute they hit that door, I automatically assume that they're on their race of a lifetime. You know, they're starting line at the Ironman competition, one of the most difficult, you know, sporting events known to man. I see agents in recovery as acting on things, producing things. You know, being able to act on an impulse to give someone feedback, acting on something to express themselves, doing something for the recovery of greater value. They're doing something. My clients come to me and they say, well, Blu, how am I doing? Why? Because I don't see you doing much, you know. Well, I'm participating in a group and all this, you know. But yeah, but what could you do more? You know, what could I physically see you do? What could I tangibly see you do? What's a physical step you could do that can show me, you know? And it'd be amazing what these guys can bring in to show you what they're doing. These agents live in a world of abundance. They see what they have. Even if it's small, they see the value in everything. From the group, from the facility, from the neighbors, to everything. They see the abundance in life. I call them producers because they're actually creating and producing something better than what they had. And these guys live in more of a life and liberty. They feel the freedom. Addicts and freedom is kind of a scary thing. So when you start talking about liberty and the freedom that liberty has, they get real scared, you know, because it's kind of a catch-22. They like the security of treatment, the security of the group, but when I tell them, well, think about maximum security for them. What's maximum security remind you of? They all think prison. Yeah? Wouldn't it be better to, instead of having job security, you have job freedom, you know, recovery freedom and security. And it's kind of a hard paradigm shift for them to kind of get into. So, an agent in recovery, I want to show you guys now kind of how this philosophy works with treatment. Okay? I'm going to show you a few video clips, and I want you guys to watch what happens, because the way that sport can correlate and athletics can correlate with recovery through the discipline, the focus, the drive, the unity is amazing. And so you've all seen these amazing things that have happened in sport, from the 1980 Olympic, you know, hockey team, you believe in miracles, all the way up to, you know, one of my favorite, you know, sporting events, the Tour de France, someone crossing the line, you know, American winning the Tour de France. To me, that stuff is amazing. It takes tenacity, it takes focus, it takes drive. It's the same stuff that we've got to use in recovery. The same kind of philosophy they use to train is the same stuff we can use in recovery. So watch this. This is an agent in recovery. Pay attention to what they say when the event happens.
She actually won an NCAA championship in 2006 in the 800, but she only won one Big Ten championship in 2 years.
3 laps in this event, 600 meters, 3,000 around the 200-meter track here at the Judah Lounge.
She's looking very confident, and the Penn State runner is just running amazing today. She did win her meet.
600 is only 3 times around this track, so it's fast.
Moving into the lead, sophomore from Penn State. injured.
Her teammate just went to the front though, so they may be able to recover from that. And Dorgan is flying down the backstretch. She is going to catch Fondor, and she may catch the leader.
Wow.
She's got fun.
This is a gutsy effort by Dorgan. She's moving to third. Dorgan is coming down the stretch from the outside. Dorgan is going up strong. Dorgan,
She ended up winning that race.
That is amazing. To fall in a 600, I mean, this is basically a sprint. This is an extended 400 race.
She ended up winning the race, okay? Because she got right back up when she fell. How many times in my group have I seen people come in and say, Blue, I have a problem at relapse? Okay? And I said, it's not the relapse, it's what you do with it. What are you going to do with it? You know, are you going to get back up and keep running, or are you going to just say, well, I guess it's over for me. All that training, everything I've done, flush it down the toilet. I'm a loser. I'm going to come in last. Can you imagine the discipline it took for her to get back up that fast? They're booking, they're cooking. And I love the people in the commentators said, oh, she's, you know, that's too bad. She's not going to be able to make it. You know, that's going to cost them. Well, hey, at least you have the teammate that's up there in front, and they discounted her. Did you hear the silence for a minute as they were witnessing something amazing? As she started to catch them. And then how ecstatic they got when she started to pass them. And then when she won. See, to me, that's where real recovery starts to take into place in Addict Athlete, is when you're in the group and you have a downfall, how quick are you going to get back up? Just keep running. How fast after a relapse you're going to rebound and keep moving forward. You know, mistakes happen. You know, I tell my group members, you are all perfect individuals. The problem is you don't do perfect too well. None of us do. So that wasn't a perfect race by any means, but she was perfect in what she did. That's what agent recovery looks like to me. Someone that's going to get back up when they fall, take accountability, and keep moving forward. My goal for these individuals that participate in Addict Athlete is to give them the courage, the drive, and the motivation to get back up when they fall. This is the St. George Marathons last year, and this runner in the yellow shorts, my brother-in-law Heath Thurston, he's a professional Ironman athlete, and Heath was on his way to PR for a marathon. And just as he was about ready to cross that finish line, a guy collapsed in front of him. And he was only about 5-10 yards away. 5-10 yards away, not very far at all. But instead of finishing the race, he picked this guy up, walked him across the finish line, and if you see, the gentleman that fell crossed the line first, before Heath. Because to me, that's what Addict Athlete's all about, is to help the ones who have fallen, to help the ones that feel they can't finish. Being that close to the end and being able to help and support. When you start looking at this, it's a lot of trust that we ask of our clients to come in and give us. And I think it's a gift. It's not earned. Trust is never earned. You can't earn enough trust. At one point, they're going to have to gift it to you. But then you think about what trust really is, and it's more about faith. You've got to have faith in you. You've got to have a bounce in your walk. You've got to have proof in your pudding in order for them to get you their trust. Reaching for the hand. I don't know how many times I've reached for the hand to help someone else, and they just won't take it. You know, discovering a purpose, finding motivation. These are all things. Why in the world would someone want to go out and run 3 miles? Especially after you're not feeling the most healthy. You've been smoking for a while. You're drinking. You're boozing it up. And then I'm saying, hey, you know, I need you tomorrow to bring some running shoes. And they're like, I'm not going to do that. You know, why would they do that? You know, we start finding it's all motivation. Everyone's motivated by something. And all it is just trying to find out what it is. Because after a while, when you're talking about motivation, they don't realize that they've already traveled about a half mile. And they're like, well, now I'm going to go back. It's another half mile. You know? You can do more therapy, more counseling outside, active recreation than you ever could in any one of your offices. I guarantee it. There's stuff you can get talked about in there that blow your mind because it's not threatening. I call this my erase and replace philosophy. It's erasing that addiction and replacing it with something of greater value. They've got to have something to fill that void, or else they're going to go back to it. But once they start feeling what they can do, and start learning how to love and learning how to be loved by others, this stuff becomes second nature to them. It becomes a passion. So this is what I want to look like when we talk about who's going to be serving one another. What does that look like? And sometimes people don't want the help. There are many times I've clients that have rejected help. But there's always one person, whether it be a mother, father, aunt, uncle, counselor, maybe another group member, that can help them.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise
Good job, Blue. You got us crying.
I can't let anyone see me cry. That'd be horrible. That to me is the I don't know, that's the epitome of love right there. You know, first and foremost, to have a father fight for their child that way, it's huge. I've seen this happen on the race course before. I've seen parents run alongside their children. I've seen counselors run alongside their clients in therapy. I've seen clients run through therapy and also have a severe pain, a little memory pop up, an old accounting come up, something that stung, that caused that addiction in the first place. I've seen that happen. And I've seen other group members leave them behind, and I've seen counselors and other people come in and help support them. So they don't take them across the finish line. They have to do that themselves. That's their burden to bear. It's an amazing thing when you see that. I've seen it with compassion. I've seen group members finish runs and go back and make sure that the last runner out there makes it across the line because we could go behind. Stuff I've seen. In group therapy, outside of the track, it correlates 110%. So when things get hard, what do? This is actually a picture in southern Utah after they had the floods. This is right through Gunlock. And we were going to do a race through there once too, and I saw this picture. I thought, that's perfect, because when I saw that part, we just turned around and went the other way. I didn't go through it. So when I saw that guy's crazy, right? But he got back before I did, I'm sure, because I had to go all the way back. When things get hard, you got to remember why you're doing it. What's the goal? What's the purpose? You've got to have a purpose in recovery and sobriety, just like you've got to have a purpose to, start at the starting line of a marathon. Because why in the world would you do it if you didn't have one? We have a lot of clients that come in not knowing what their purpose is, and I love watching them discover it. Some of the most amazing things when they have an aha moment, like, I'm good at this. I can contribute to that. My goal is going to be this. Decreasing the noise is huge. When we start telling them to calm down, bring down, last night, for instance, we had an Addict II Athlete basketball game, and bless their hearts, man, these guys get out there, and they're playing against what I call the muggles, the people that don't use. So they're playing against the muggles who see these guys wearing Addict II Athlete, and they're already kind of nervous around because they've got tattoos, and they sometimes swear a bit when things go wrong, But they're optimistically cautious of them too, because they have the most focused minds. I'm watching this game last night, and they're roughing my guys up. They're trying to draw fouls. They're roughing the refs up, and they're losing their heads. And all my guys were doing was playing. They were playing, and it was amazing they were out there. But decreasing the noise came when the last guy had a chance to win the game. This is the first time I've ever seen this happen in our league, our city league. And that was, the game was tied, and we could have won it with 2 free throws. At that point, there wasn't enough noise. There was no one saying, Jared, you can do this. It was quiet because, this could be, an NBA title for all they cared. You know, there wasn't enough noise, there wasn't enough support, and he missed them both who went to overtime and lost. But it wasn't a loss for me. Because look how much they fought to get there. You know, redefining the way people see these guys. They know they're addicts, obviously they're wearing them. You know, but on the court they're athletes, and they're dang good athletes to boot. We have a problem with forgetting our past successes. We think, nah, it wasn't that big of a deal. And then did it. In fact, just walking in here today, graduating UVU was a huge accomplishment for me. I struggled here. I was not a good student. I shouldn't be here. I'm the only one in my family to ever graduate high school, let alone go to college. I shouldn't be here. And I remember walking into this place, I thought, UVU. I remember the testing center, and then, you know, I'm getting heartburn. My wife's like, you know what though? You kicked its butt. You beat it. You did it. It's true. I forgot about my past successes that fast, as do we. We do the same thing. So when things get hard, you know, I always tell the guys, if you want to use, go ahead and do it. But why don't you grab your running shoes first and go do a few miles? Because at the end of those few miles, they don't want to do it anymore. A, they're too tired. B, they see something amazing. You know what I'm saying? We have team captains instead of sponsors because these guys will help advocate and push them a little bit further. But there's this really funny thing that happens in athletics and it happens in therapy. And we all hit it. For me, it's mile 18. Every time I run a marathon, it's mile 18. And I know it will be for the rest of my life because now it's a mental barrier. Anyone here ever run a marathon? What am I talking about?
The wall.
The wall. What is the wall?
I didn't hit it, it's all wrong.
We need to talk afterwards. That's amazing.
You feel like you're done. All your physical faculties, your mental faculties, just say stop, you're done right here wherever you are. Mile 10, mile 13, mile 18, mile 26.1.
It's where your body says, what in the world are you doing to me? And your brain's saying, we should probably stop. This isn't enough. And that happens in group therapy too, individual therapy, where we say, hey, tell me about, you know, why you're so upset with mom. What went wrong there? Boom, a wall. They don't want to go there. You know, I can't get them through the wall. I can't get them around the wall or under the wall. They have to do it themselves, but inevitably it comes. And that's why people get so nervous talking about their addictions and their recovery, is because they don't want to have to relive that pain that caused it in the first place. So they built this wall, and they know exactly where it is. And we can go to a certain spot, but then we just stare at it. Excellent movie this come from. It's called Run, Fat Boy, Run. Brilliant. I got ready. My head's gonna explode. I have to stop though. I'm sorry. How can you do? You can't stop me nearly there. Hush. It's a little tiny 9 months.
Baby, let's get to bed. Dennis.
Dennis? Doyle, a clothing store security guard running for the last 10 3/4 hours on basically one leg, is refusing to rest. Unbelievable.
mind telling you can't do it, you got to go with heart. You got to feel it, and that's exactly how it is when I'm in therapy. You know, sometimes they hit those walls, and you've got to slide one brick out so they can see the other side. That it's possible to get through this, and then when they make that transition, it's the most amazing thing ever. But to them, it's just natural progression. But for me to see someone tear down a wall like that, it is amazing. I'll tell you. So what we do at Addict II Athlete is we have coaching. I call it coaching, not really counseling, because that sounds cooler. I don't know. We have a home team. Our home team are people that want to support these guys, and it's not just our group members. It really is parents, brothers, siblings, aunts, uncles. But we're talking about your home team, your family system that can help support you in this kind of stuff. It's amazing what can happen when you start getting a little bit of motivation from people that may have doubted you in the first place. The team captains are more like sponsors. These are the guys that really kind of make this program run. Contrary to popular belief, I'm up here doing this presentation, but I don't run the program, they do it themselves. This is a client-based program, they run everything themselves. Training, get out there, training not only in the group room, we do a 45 minute meeting, and then we get out and we do something. We run, we bike, we swim, we play basketball, we do something. And then of course the racing, which kind of makes it all that great. But what we try to do is foster what I call nurturing relationships. And anyone that's ever heard of these two guys, it's an amazing situation where a father has dedicated his life to his son. This is called Team Hoyt.
Where they go to prove their mettle. Endurance racers from around New England, ready to take on an Olympic distance triathlon. Those who finish will swim a mile, bike 24, and run 6 more. Welcome everyone! But one man's got a tougher challenge than the rest. And it's not because he's one of the oldest guys here. It's because Dick Hoyt will pull, pedal, and push his son Rick, who was born without the ability to move or speak. This is how father and son spend their time together, nearly every single weekend, going back 30 years. Dick and Rick Hoyt have completed over 240 triathlons, and on their lazier Sunday afternoons, over 68 marathons, the fastest in a time just half an hour off the world record. Yes, the real world record. They say Dick Hoyt could have been an elite endurance athlete on his own. Dick's not so sure.
I just don't have the desire to be out there running by myself. I think it's just something that comes from his body to my body, and it makes us go faster.
Are you trying to say that you run faster pushing Rick than if you didn't run with him?
Oh yeah, he inspires me and he motivates me. And he's actually the athlete, and he's very competitive. He wants to win.
That to me is amazing, to be able to do that kind of stuff for your son, but also I've seen that, obviously with the athletes with one another. Dick's never won a race, his son always comes in first. Always. That to me is a tear-jerking, throat closing kind of deal right there. Which is cool too, because, I like to think that I help my clients out in one way, shape, or form, but I'm never going to finish it before them. They're the ones that finish. And if you're running for a reason, for a purpose, if you're doing recovery for a reason and a purpose, you're going to get there much faster. This one's going to be hard for me. You're looking at a gentleman by the name of Keith. And Keith was one of my first original athletes. He came to me with the second time in DCFS drug court. And he was not looking good. He was on his way to lose his family. And I said, don't you think there's a better way to do this, buddy? There's got to be something we can do. He said, I don't know, Blue, would you mind visiting with me and my wife? And so we did, and what I found was they didn't have a common goal. They were both racing away from each other instead of with one another. Kids were separated, they were in every other person, family member's house, they weren't together. What Keith did was grasp the concept that change is possible. That motivation can be found in small things, small people. And what he realized was that he needed a new marriage, and it wasn't to get a divorce, it was to really fix the one he had. And so he decided to start channeling his things and things of greater value, which was his family, which was his personal life, his relationship with his wife, and really, to become part of something. Keith grabbed on to Addict II Athlete, and he was a 25-year smoker. He was doing things that really, athletes don't do. But he had that first race in that Chase the Mayor race, and that changed something in him because that motivated him to see, if I can do this, there's nothing I can't do. He's been to every one of our events. He's been to every one of our board meetings and things that we do to increase Addict II Athlete. Not only did he successfully get his DCFS case closed and was reunited with his family, Keith went on to do amazing things. He's still doing, he participated in the 50-mile ultra marathon with my other brother-in-law. He's done a half marathon. I mean, the guy is all over it. But the one that stands out most to me is this one. This is the Frigid 5K that happened in January. And all of us wimps didn't get up and go because it was raining. I looked up and I thought, Keith, got stuff to do today, buddy. Good luck. A couple other group members, Keith, good luck. But I missed something amazing because Keith ran a 5K with his daughter. Something that he'd never done before, something that she'd never done before. That to me, from having such a distant relationship to having some girl go and run with her dad because she has him back, is huge. Absolutely huge. He was our MVP of 2011, and you can see why. He does amazing things. That is our mission statement. It kind of speaks for itself. But to wrap this stuff up, and I got to apologize to the athletes because I'm still in their time, but I want to introduce you to the athletes in just a second. I need to tell you guys who these people are, because they are not addicts at all. In fact, I've been dumbing them down, calling them athletes, because they're even much more than that. They're amazing individuals, and as you listen to this last part, I really want you to follow along in this little program I'm giving you. But I don't want you to read it as if you were sitting in this, mid-country coaches, high school coaches, half-game pre-show or a halftime show. I want you guys to look at this as if you're battling an addiction. That he's not talking about going out and beating a football team. He's talking about overcoming an addiction. One of the most inspiring messages I've ever heard, and there's no better way. And as you listen to this, take a look at these agents in recovery up above, because this is what it's all about.
Today, gentlemen, I'm in honor of coaching. More honor to feel balance. There's another honor to still come. That is an answer that comes with that question. Who am I? I am the champion.
You can follow along with the words in the pamphlet if you want to hear it.
I will conquer what is not been conquered. Keep will not be in my dreams. I will believe with others in power. I will always endeavor to receive honor and respect from my team. I train my mind and my body to fall. Who am I? I am the champion. I will acknowledge the fact that my opponents do not expect me to win. But I will never surrender. Weakness will not be in my heart. I will look to my comrades and to those who have brought me to this world and those who have trained me. And I will draw strength from them. Who am I? I am the champion. I will try so off to feel the battle. And I will move in everything I can do. And I will reach my field of battle at any means of my disposal. And when I get there, I will fight violently. I will rip the heart from my enemies and be a creep on the ground. Because he cannot stop me. Who am I? I am the champion. To my side, I have comrades. Comrades that have been through the convicted death. You sacrifice the blood and sweat and tears. Never will I let them fall. Never will I let them down. And I will never leave them behind. Because our opponent does not know my heart. Who am I? I am the champion. No one will deny me. No one will define me. And no one will tell me who and what I am and be. Belief will change my world. It is through God, it is through life, it is through nail and boom. And it will carry me through this battle. Who am I? I am the champion. Defeat, retreat, those are not in my word. I don't understand those definitions. I don't understand when things go wrong. I don't understand mistakes. I do understand this. I understand victory, and I understand never surrendering. No matter how bad things go, my heart, my mind will carry my body, my limbs will weak. Who am I? I am the champion. The day will be that day. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, right here, in your house, in your home. Who am I? I am the champion. And people will remember me. I will not let everybody be God. I would never go out, not when I've given everything I've got. Because who am I? I am a champion. 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 Who am I? I am a champion.
Showing a few of our champions right here. We have 81 members strong right now. But these are the ones that dedicated a little bit of their time and sacrificed in other area to be here today, and I appreciate that. These are some amazing individuals. These are not weak individuals. These are guys that have overcome their own addiction and some pretty heavy life circumstances. To cross that finish line together, to be united in one cause, and that's recovery. These are the agents in recovery that are going to help bring Addict II Athlete to hopefully a lot more places than just Utah County. Our vision is to kind of push this forward because there's some amazing stories that are coming out of this. I know we've gone over time, we're right there at the end, but I want you guys to come up and meet some of these individuals because they are amazing people. Real quick, I'm going to let Tyson, who really was the first member of the Addict II Athlete, give a few words, and we'll close it down after he's done. Tyson.
I didn't know I was going to do this, but what this has done for my recovery is amazing. Like Blu said, I knew this worked for me before we got this going. Just during treatment, you have to teach a class to go from IOP to DOP, and my class was for Fitness for Recovery. And I knew that worked for me because right then at the time I was on the right path. I know I was. I was just starting a new family. My fiance was pregnant, and I had to get it right this time. And I tried many other different things, and it wasn't working. But I knew this, what I was doing here was working, and like I said, I taught a class, and this was meant to be because it was one of Blu's first days at our treatment center. And when we started working there, and I mean, we both had great ideas of what we wanted to do with this. So we combined everything, what Blu's done. I mean, we couldn't do this without him. And but just like a lot of things he said, I mean, he said pretty much everything you need to. But like for me, what it was a huge part is the discipline. What it takes to suit up and do what we do every day, to get out, to go to the gym, to get out and everything. The discipline will not just transfer into your physical exercise, but also mental exercise. It will change a lot of ways you think and the way you do things, and that is going to transfer into many areas of life. And it helped me with my job, it has helped me with money, it has helped me with a lot of different aspects. So, I mean, it just makes me live a better way of life. It has helped me a lot. And yeah, I don't know, that's just, I mean, that's the start of it. You know, I mean, just what we're doing, this is just the beginning, but it's going to be huge. Thank you guys.
The I Am a Champion speech is contact information. We have a few shirts here. If you're in recovery and you want to join our squad, come up now. Let's get you suited up and get you in contact so that we can help you on your road to success. You guys, thank you for letting me spend some time with you today. I fully appreciate it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to come and talk to us. Thank you.
the mental health therapist bill?
Yes. It is for...
I thought I have it in my email that I didn't.
Okay, it's downstairs. It is, but if you go, you know how to go on the Utah legislator website. I want to say it's 486. It's 486? I want to say it's...
Is it downstairs?